in the studio this week, kind of doing what we used to do years ago. A back injury has kind of sidelined me for a little bit. So I said I'm going to take advantage of this and get a hold of some people I haven't talked to in a while and use the phone to do it. 63-year-old Brett Hearn was doing a lot of stuff on Facebook yesterday on Monday. You guys are getting this Tuesday after dinner time, and it sounds like some good things are going on. So let's go down to Sussex, New Jersey. That is the home of BH Racing. 63-year-old Brett Hearn, class of 76, joins us here on Doug's Dirt Diary. Brett, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, Doug.
Good. Understand some things are changing, and I've been following a lot of what's been going on in Orange County. Sounds like we're hoping some good things happen there soon.
Yeah, one of the struggles that we've had in the last 2 or 3 years has been material on the track. And started in 2020, and we've had three or four different crews come in and try to prep the track with little success. And it's led to the point where they really needed to resurface the track. Unfortunately, it's a very expensive proposition, and it was something that really wasn't wanted to be done because it was very expensive the first time. But that's what's happened. So it looks like the material that they brought in is looks like the real deal. So hopefully we'll find out soon what exactly that looks like.
And I was following what you were typing on Facebook yesterday, almost a little tease, almost in some degree. So it sounds like we may be going back to Orange County in a different way this time, maybe with the suit and the car again.
Well, yeah. So the first thing I put out yesterday was one of the races I've got on my radar. I've had on my radar screen for about the last month or so was the Brian Goey race at Lebanon Valley, which is a tribute to Brian Goey's life. And I'm still very close with his brother Tim, and Brian was a really, really good friend of the family throughout the 90s. Obviously, he was a very good customer of Theo and my brother, and they were very close. I just saw it fitting that, that if I'm going to come out and race a few times a month, that would be one of the races I probably should be at. And I feel pretty excited about it now. I mean, the response yesterday was ultra positive about getting back out and competing, and it just made me really feel good because I've got to kind of lay low for about a month, just kind of trying to, figure out exactly what I want to do and how I want to do it, and whether I want to do anything at all. So this is what we chose, and with the Madison family support and everything else that goes with it, I put together a small band of guys that are going to help me pull this off. So that's where we're at.
Okay. How do we look in the shop right now? You're there right now. Could we race or practice tomorrow if we had to?
Yeah, I probably could have actually. We have an open practice tonight. I probably could have been ready for that. But the biggest thing right now is we really don't have a hauler that's set up, and we're working on that with Kevin Cross, hopefully. And we'll get there one way or the other. A lot of other racers have offered their help, and we've got Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. So we're going to pull this thing off one way or the other.
Okay. You mentioned there was a month of, let's say, quiet reflection, let's say, or something like that. What were the main things you were thinking about that said, I'm going to go back to driving? What were the biggest things that influenced that decision?
Well, I said earlier in the year that I was going to definitely participate in the 50th anniversary Super Dirt League. And I did originally tell people that I was looking at the Battle of the Midway in Orange County when Super Dirt Series, when Will Richard was going to run the show. Even if I was still participating at the track, I would still be able to race that race. And so that's something that I wanted to do right from the get-go. And that race in particular is a tribute race to Ferriola brothers, who, if anybody has read any of my interviews over the past, I've talked a lot about the Ferriola brothers race team. It was close to where I lived, and my visits there when Gary Ballou was there racing for those guys, and then the influence that they had on me in racing in general, their family, and the way they did the race team and the way they did business, and it taught me a lot about what I wanted to be. And ultimately, my first win in 1979, I had to beat their car to win my first Eastern State. So I think that it's going to be nice to be there participating in that race. If the track pans out and the play is good and the racing's good, I'll be looking forward to that.
And obviously you mentioned 50th anniversary of Super Dirt Week. Did you tell me that you're participating in a press conference of some kind or something that's going on in Albany?
Yeah, I'm a little short on details, but next Thursday I'll be in Albany with the World Racing Group people to present or to show off the what I think is a trophy for the event, and do a little PR in that respect, in anticipation of the Super Dirt Week coming up this year.
Mm-hmm. You were always good at that side of it, though. I mean, how did you learn how to do that kind of stuff? Because a lot of racers, depending on the background they've had, are not necessarily as outgoing or things like that. Did you just get better as it goes, or is that personality? Is that just you?
Well, I think that back in the late '80s and early '90s, when Glenn had all the TV stuff going on, and we were getting interviewed. And, I look back at some of those interviews from that time and go, like, oh my God, we were so just babies,
Really?
But, I felt that in my world, it was a necessity for me to get up and do that. And I wasn't always the most comfortable thing for me, but to co-host This Week on Dirt and a couple of things that I did. Yeah, so I'll never be a Doug Elkins, but but it was. I felt it was a necessity for me to do that in the right way, to represent my sponsors, and to get more sponsorship, because I was paying my own bills, and that's the only way I knew how to do it.
Okay. Well, what came first? The Brett Hearn being smooth and talking because of his sponsors, or the sponsors that made Brett Hearn talk smooth?
I think it was the sponsors that made me talk smooth first.
Okay. All right. And obviously that helped keep them, because you had a lot of big name sponsors for a long time there.
Yes, certainly. It made my race team appeal in that respect. So I was the guy that could get it done on the track, and I was the guy that could get it done for you at an appearance or any other thing that you needed. So I was a well-rounded package, I guess. So that's just the way we made it work.
Okay. I'm also wondering, you mentioned that you were thinking about maybe walking away. Could you have done that? Because there's been a couple times in my life where I've thought about it. Maybe I should have some kind of normal life like most people do. But could you really have done that, do you think?
Well, I think, my life is intertwined with the sport. And I'm living with McLaughlin, who has got a son that's, one of the stars of the Super Dirt Series. So it's a little bit hard to be completely disengaged, So this is something that it's hard. When you say walk away, I mean just completely disengaged from it's almost impossible. But I'm not a great spectator per se, and so I've gotten involved in I'm consulting with a couple guys that I'm trying to help out behind the scenes, and that's working out pretty well. And I'm representing for Fox Shots, and so I'm kind of trying to help guys get going in the right direction, and that's worked out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of doing that on the down low, so nobody really knows about that too much. But for me to you have this quandary, right? So you go out and at the end of 2021 and you win the World Finals, the last race of the season, and it's so cool to be able to say, I won my last race, whether it's yesterday or 6 months ago or 8 months ago, right?
Doesn't matter, yeah.
And a lot of people, there's a lot of people that would say, well, hey, man, you just won the World Finals. Now's the perfect time to quit.
Sounded
but,
it, didn't it?
I tell them, you know what? In 5 years, who cares? I won my last race, right? The record's already there. It'll never be erased. So if I can go out and race on my own terms when I want, high-paying races, if I can be competitive, then it'll be fun, And really, quite honestly, racing when you don't have the normal pressures of the grind of being ready by tomorrow is way more fun than being under that kind of pressure for 100 races a year and being on the road all summer. I realized that last year when I went to Super Dirt Week, and the first time that I didn't try to run big blocks, small blocks, satellite races. So we had 3 trailers going 3 different directions, different crews. You try to coordinate everything. Jumping out of practice and trying to get in a car that's waiting for you to get you to the track that's after hot laps. That actually just running the big block at Super Dirt Week was really actually pretty fun.
We're almost out of time, Brett. I hate to interrupt you at that point, but please keep in touch. Let me know when the first race will be, and I'll give you a call, and we'll help promote that, okay?
Okay, Doug. Sounds
Guys,
great.
hit the blue E, subscribe. Sorry we ran out of time so fast, but we got back with Brett soon. Brett, good luck. I appreciate the chat, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you, man.
Thank you.